Don't get me wrong by the captions, but anti-vaxxers suck. And though they are still in the vast minority, they are a movement that's grown. I'm someone who has a very high chance of permanently losing lung function or worse if I'm exposed to something like the measles or the flu. I've lost 2 friends to the flu in the last year, and a friend of mine's mother actually contracted varicella and died in hospital in the last year as well. This is personal to me. I get it, and I hate seeing posts that propagate this BS. Anti-vaxxers suck. But not everyone who questions vaccines is an anti-vaxxer. One of my followers slash readers slash subscribers pointed out something so poignantly the other day, I had to share it. Even she, a rational pro-vaxxer, felt a stab of fear and doubt as she faced watching her tiny little baby, a few months old, get jabbed with a needle. That's someone who is pretty rational and smart, someone who's had experience with healthcare before. And that's the thing, not everyone has had medical training or studied biology. Not everyone is rational. In fact, we as humans are programmed to be emotional. Another follower pointed out a compassionate way to communicate with people who ask questions, and I think that's something we should all do first whenever we can. Because the truth is, the vast majority of parents are concerned, worried people who've never been in a hospital environment before. I remember going into court for a parking ticket, or at least that's my story. But yeah, I was in court one day. I remember being so confused and intimidated by the going-ons, the procedures, the costumes, and all that stuff. But I happened to meet an old school friend of mine who worked there, and he was so calm and composed in that place, him just being there made me more comfortable. I didn't get used to the hospital for at least a year as a patient. My first few weeks were as confusing as hell. What the hell is a registrar? Who's the consultant? What's an OB? I mean, when you combine all that with all the biological wirings that come with being a mum, I think it's pretty fair to be concerned and to ask questions. But at the same time, we've got to realize that anti-vaxxers are still the minority. They've maybe heard winds of the doubts. Some may even have a Karen whispering away in their ear, but most reasonable people will respond to someone who answers their questions and explains that there are some small risks, but that we vaccinate for a good reason in a knowledgeable, reassuring, compassionate way, I reckon. I haven't been in the clinics or wards too much yet. My health stops me from being able to do so. I can only imagine the frustration and how hard it must be to keep yourself from tearing into people sometimes. You're tired, not just from work, but also from countless online battles against people who never want to be convinced. And seeing people suffer needlessly too must make it even worse. But try this first wherever you can, even online, I'd say. Hopefully it changes a few minds. But yeah, I know you can't convince everyone of that. Sometimes you need to use different tactics. Anti-vaxxers tend to congregate in little pockets too, where outbreaks can occur, and they often occur, which is even sadder. So some of you have to deal with this more than others, which might be more frustrating. So yeah, how do you guys talk about vaccines? How do you guys deal with anti-vaxxers? I'd love to know. Comment wherever you see this or on my YouTube if you're there. My name's Nikhil. This is a weird little thought that I had. Called it an episode of Medical Facts. I'll catch you next time.